be debating about social media and what should be flagged and what should not be flagged. Um, I'm Julia.
I'm Faith.
I'm Caroline.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Jenna behind the camera.
With a very loud microphone.
Yeah.
Me and Katie are gonna be fighting on the side of there should be a flag of some sort, and then Jenna, Faith, and Caroline think everything should be free. So, let's get into it, I guess. So, what subject do you want to talk about first? Like,
Maybe like what we could do is we could do like different parts of the topic. Whether we could go, for an example, we could do one for language, and then we can do one for, I don't know, derogatory images or something like that, and then like we can like discuss our opinions and everything on that.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell what I think about
Yeah,
it.
let's go around it and say what people think.
Because in general, I
Sure.
think that like some way they're gonna get around whether you flag stuff or not.
Exactly.
So I just say like, I think that if you don't want your kid to have social media or to see that stuff, then don't let them have social media. I just think it should be open to doing really whatever you want on social media at your own use or whatever.
Yeah, so like if say like a mom's didn't let her kid have social media, but then like maybe she was like checking Facebook and then she was scrolling and her kid was like next to her and there was maybe the photo was blurry or the video was flagged and it sort of gave a warning, hey, this is inappropriate. So like I feel like it could be in use for people who work with kids and necessarily that don't have the kids don't have social media, most of them. So
Yeah, but also if you think about it, if people are working with kids, they're not gonna be on their phones showing those things. They
Yeah, but,
would
like,
know that a
teachers-
kid's around and they wouldn't show that.
teachers get on their smart boards every day, and I mean YouTube has flagged some things. So I feel like even if like they were showing a video of the ABCs, then it should be the advertisement before it should be flagged, or the video, because like I mean there's people who would put horrible things in the video, but yeah.
But then again, in the Bill of Rights, it says we have like the freedom of speech. So that basically means, or I don't know.
That was quite loud when you
Oh, I'm sorry.
slammed that.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm sorry. Anyway, in the Bill of Rights, it says you have freedom of speech. So that basically means you can post and say whatever you want online.
Yeah, and I think you should be able to say whatever you want. It just needs to be flagged. Like it just needs to have a warning that it might be false or it might be inappropriate for you to like somebody to see.
And I like want to bring up another point too. Like there could be certain things online that are like triggering for like abuse or triggering for
Yeah.
eating disorders. And I feel like, I mean, companies like Snapchat and Twitter and things like that should make more of an effort to make like their platforms safe for everyone to use, and so people don't go on their platforms and get triggered that could lead back to like a dark place that they were in.
Yeah, and like flashing, I forgot what order it is, but I mean some people like have like seizures from just looking at flashing on their phone, and like advertisements do that all the time. So it might not even be seen as inappropriate, but it can harm somebody in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go. You can go.
Okay. I feel like people are gonna find a way to get to see whatever they want to see. So even if it was censored, then there's still a way to find it. Like you can just search it.
Yeah, and I also feel like in a way, I guess it does make sense for people that might have like an eating disorder or something. But I think that if you're trying to like recover from something like that, you won't be on your phone to have the chance to see anything like that.
It's sort of well,
Like,
recovery
if
takes a
you-
long
Yeah, I
time.
think sometimes it
Yeah.
can be out of your
And
control.
like phones are a necessity, especially in these days, and it's sort of hard to tell somebody to come off their phone. And I know social media is some place where people go for positive efforts, and they are not warned when they see something. Like they will find some people that want to find inappropriate things. They will eventually find it, but some people don't want to, and it's just unexpected, and it harms them. But yeah.
All right. Do we have another topic that we want to talk on?
I don't know. What do y'all want to talk about?
with like violence and stuff, you know how sometimes they like censor it if it's like too violent? There's stuff on the news and they still won't censor it. So they'll like post a video on the news and stuff, but then they're gonna censor it on social media or something.
When social media is just like a news platform, that's where everyone gets all of their information and
Yeah.
everything that's what's going on. And if they censor it on social media and then they don't censor it on the news, there's no point.
Well, I feel like on social media, it's not just like a news outlet for especially like breaking news like murders and stuff. I mean, it can be to like spread awareness, but when you look up CNN, you're probably going to see something that is related to crime.
Or politics.
Yeah, or politics. So like there should be a flag letting people know that there is crime because it could also trigger crime could trigger some people. So
Yeah, but like I said earlier, like if you know that you're going to be triggered for something, you're going to go on your phone to your own use, and you're not going to want to be triggered by something, obviously. So there's just
if you're looking at somebody's stories and you like they're your friends and you just want to see like any other teenager or any other person and you want to see what's going on in their life and they repost something that's very triggering to them, it's not going to be anybody's fault but the social media platform for not warning
But what way would they flag it, do you think? So if they're their friend and say
Yeah.
they're on their story or something,
Yeah.
if they're actually your friend, they're going to know that that's going to trigger you, so they're not going to post it in the first place.
Well, they're your friend and like maybe you're not that close with them so they forgot who follows you, and I mean you don't just share trauma, like that's not, you don't tell people what would trigger you because it can be embarrassing for some people. But I think that if you click on the post and you're wondering what it is, there should be a little bar that comes up. This could like harm some people in different ways. Just letting you know, like, and they would most likely click off of it because they know they probably would harm them.
Like that, like go for that. On some social media sites, it'll have something that'll say, "Oh, this is like, and this is like censored for people of certain ages."
They do
something.
already censor certain things, yeah.
Yeah, which I think is
Like
great.
and on Instagram and stuff. I mean, like
That's
they already
kinda what I was
censor
going
stuff.
for.
So it's like if we can stick to like the minimum of censoring stuff, because some people are just on social media to be on social media.
Yeah.
Like it's an adult. That's why we have freedom of speech and freedom to post what we want to post. So that's just what I think.
And some adults are only on social media to make sure their kids aren't doing anything bad, but still, I feel like there shouldn't be censorship because if your kid's gonna be able to find out how stuff works eventually. So
Yeah, and also like if you're really protective of your kid, you can personally choose to censor their phone yourself,
yeah,
but not like the government or whatever censoring everyone's phones.
Yeah.
But if you're a parent who's overprotective, there's already ways to censor your child's phone. So
Well, I do think that people are going to find out about it eventually, but like, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole age thing, but I do think like if it is inappropriate, then like somebody doesn't want to see it, then there should be a flag or a blur or something. But like you are eventually, and just by going to school, you're going to be exposed to things on other people's phones and even on yours too. So.
and my brother, he has Instagram, but he's in like 6th grade. And yesterday he was just showing me something. It wasn't very inappropriate. It was just of a girl in a bathing suit, and it was like, I don't know, but he showed me one of the comments. And he was like, "Oh, this should be censored or something." I was like, "That's just so stupid." People are gonna post stuff
yeah,
whenever
like
they want to.
like the world's gonna be this way. There's nothing changing about it. And like at a certain age, you're gonna figure that out. Like the world isn't perfect, and not all this stuff is gonna be people talking the way that you want them to be
people are
talking.
gonna say what they want to say, and then
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do to change it. So you just have to roll with it.
But like the thing is, he's gonna, like, if you go to the pool or if you go to the beach, you're gonna see girls in a bathing suit, in a bikini or something like that.
And
Yeah.
I
So
don't
there's
think
really
that
no
should be
reason.
flagged. I mean,
Yeah.
it's them living their life.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's especially if it's like a post on like breaking news or violence in the news or crime, then I think that kind of stuff should be flagged, or politics.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, speaking on politics, we haven't really talked about politics yet. What do you think about that?
Anybody want to go?
No, I mean like it being flagged, not the politics itself.
I think that there should be a communal group of people that flag words from both parties. Like during the election on Instagram, there were flags that was like, this contains information about the U.S. election. It might be spreading false information. And whatever you're reposting, Trump, Biden, Republican, Democrat, it should be flagged, and people need to make sure that it's true. And there needs to be a flag there saying, hey, this might not be true, because people believe whatever these days.
Yeah, but also, like, if you really want to figure out if it's true, you'll search it yourself and you'll do your own research to figure out if it's true or
Not
not.
everybody does that. Not everybody knows to do that, and social media can be very convincing. Like that video you showed me, like, it can be very convincing that people said stuff. They can put clips of different words and make it sound like they said something, but they didn't. So, yeah, people don't educate themselves as they should. So, I mean, there should still be a flag.
Yeah, I just think that, like, if you're young, you're not going to understand it anyways. You're not going to research it. You're not just going to instantly, I mean, you might instantly believe it, but, like, you're young. Most young people don't care about politics. I mean, there's a few out of however, but, like, thinking about it, when you're older, you can use your own thinking to know if that's true or not, and you can research it if you really want to know. But I don't think that, like, politics can be, I mean, I guess it could be triggering somehow, but
But then again, the president is just going to say whatever he wants to say, or whoever's like running and stuff, they're going to say whatever they want to say, so it shouldn't be censored.
I mean, he is gonna say whatever he's gonna say, but but like Twitter has done that for his tweets. They were like, yeah, this is not true. But like, or not even saying it's not true. It's may. And they've done it for some of Biden's too, just because they have their own bias, and that's why I think there should be like a communal group of people that decide what words and images like should be flagged.
Yeah, because I think there's a respectful way to like call someone out on social media or say your own opinion. And some people use like certain words that can be like really offensive. And so
Yeah,
no one wants to
definitely.
see that.
No one
So,
wants to see that, and no one wants to believe what's not true.
But then again, like people are gonna say what they're gonna say, but I do think that there should be like some sort of flagging just to know, hey, this could be offensive to this certain group of people,
Yeah.
or
Could not be true in general.
See, like we said with like language or whatever, or videos, you're gonna find a way to see them, just like you're gonna find a way what the truth is. You know, it's like similar to that.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean, that's why
There's
I
a
don't think that it
difference
should be
between a-
flagged. It's like you're on social media, you're gonna see stuff either
There's a-
way.
there's like, yeah, and I agree with that, but there's a difference between like swear words and offensive words. And I mean, swear words can be flagged, especially if like you don't want your kids hearing it, but offensive words is a whole nother thing. Yeah. Okay, anybody want to comment
Okay.
on that?
But going off of what you said, people take like offense on many different levels. So people
Yeah, I
could say
agree.
something and think that that's nothing, and then the same thing could be said to someone else, and then they could take it completely seriously. So
I mean, but like think about it.
it's gonna be
If
there anyway.
someone, I'm just gonna like pick something completely random. If someone saw something about Trump like kissing his dog or something, okay, I just made that up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, this was leading to something.
Wait, hold on.
I forgot
you can,
what
you can
this
finish.
was leading to.
Hold on. Like, I agree with Caroline because it's kind of like people are kind of petty about it. Whether, how this like offends somebody to like a really big level, and they just take it too far. Like sometimes it could be meant as a joke. Other times it could be serious, but just it gets out of hand and it causes this entire like blow up and everything. But it's out there, and like
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's like, what are you gonna get offended by? Like, Trump didn't kiss his dog, and I'm just making this up, like just a random thing. Like, are you gonna get offended by that? Like, what exactly are you talking about
Are you
that
talking
needs
about,
to
like,
be
what
flagged, that
words?
needs to be offended?
what words? What
No,
words?
not words, just politics in general.
Politics. I think
Like,
that
is it because you don't agree with it?
no.
Like,
no,
oh,
not
I
at
don't
all.
agree with that. I don't want to see that.
If I post something about Biden, I want it to be flagged because I want something that somebody might not think is true. I want them to do their own research. So even by seeing that might not be true, they might be like, "Oh, let me check that out." But if I just say something, they might just believe it. And people don't do their research these days. And talking more about like on offensive words, I'm not sure how I feel about swear words, but offensive words towards certain cultures, towards certain, um, what?
She's breathing super loudly. into
No,
the
I'm
mic.
like doing this.
We can hear you breathing.
Towards something, towards groups that are, I don't know, towards certain groups
Yeah, I know what
um,
you're saying.
that I think those should be flagged, especially if you're not like meant to say it.
Mhm. What do you think about it, Faith?
I mean, I don't know.
Calling you out here? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
No.
kidding.
Like, I don't know. I don't agree with what Julia says. Like, if you have an opinion, you're allowed to voice it.
Yeah, and if
And
you
then there's
posted
no
something,
there's no point in
As- you
flagging
can
it
voice
if you
it.
if you agree with it and it's your opinion because everyone has their own opinion and it can be said
like
and it can
Julia,
be posted.
like when I tell you
So-
things, you don't believe them instantly. You go and look it up yourself.
Yeah,
just
but a
like
lot
a
of people
ton
don't
of
do
other
that.
people would be
No,
doing.
they don't. Like I,
Okay, well, say it was a 10-year-old or something. Yeah, they might
Yes.
not. They're young
Yeah.
or whatever.
I've
but
talked to
most people
people-
on social media who have stuff that aren't censored are older. And if their parents want it to be censored, like I said earlier, then they'll censor it.
I've talked to like
Easy as that.
people that are in high school, like even older than me, that don't do their research and only sort of believe what's on their Instagram feed. And I sort of talked to them and I sort of said like, do your own research about this, and their political views changed because they only believe what they saw on Instagram. And I know you say that people do the research, but at the end of the day, they don't. And like things become a trend, and it's not meant to be a trend. And
Wait, so are you saying that like supporting a certain person is a trend, or supporting
yeah,
just seeing stuff on Instagram, not doing your research on it is a trend?
certain movements and certain people.
It's not a trend.
It's
How
not
is
a
it
trend.
People like will follow their influencer, so if they like what this person believes, then they'll follow them. But still,
But
But
they-
if they
but
don't
they-
agree with it,
yeah.
they're not gonna believe it. Like some of my favorite influencers have completely different views than I do. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like say any or anything, but like I still like them or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should like somebody whatever their political views are. And I'm not quite sure what y'all are trying to say here, but like, what are you trying to say? Like,
Well, you were saying that it's a trend.
I
So I was
mean,
saying like if a trend is usually by you following what someone else does. So
Mhm.
if I saw someone who supported Biden, I wouldn't think that it's a trend. And if it was my favorite supporter or whatever, or my
Yeah.
favorite YouTuber, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a trend. Let me hop on that. Oh,
Can
now
I
I
give
support
an
Biden.
example?
Like, no, I have to think of my own political views.
yeah, and
Not saying I support Biden or Trump.
people are more vulnerable, and people want to do things because they want other people to like them. That's just what high school is and like what school is. And can I give an example? Like in June, the black squares were a huge thing. And I knew somebody that posted a black square, and they did not know anything about the Black Lives Matter movement. They just knew that they wanted to be liked by people. And like, I don't know. So it can become a trend, and it can become being done for the wrong purposes.
Okay, but that's what they wanted to do. Like, people should just be able to do whatever they want to do, post whatever they want to post, and just let it be.
Yes, I mean, I agree with you that anybody should be able to do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, if you're saying something that's like wrong or false, or
Then someone else can look it up to see if it is
Then
wrong
someone
or
else
false
can believe
themselves.
it.
Yeah, they can believe it or
If they-
choose not
if
to
they-
believe it. You
yeah.
get to post what you want to
'Cause
post.
Going back to what you said about that friend or that girl or whoever you're talking about with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything in June, it was their own fault that they didn't look it up and understand what was going on. That
Yeah, and
Even
that
though-
totally
and
is.
if other people were posting and they knew about what Black Lives Movement was, then they would know that that person isn't right. Like if they're the ones who are posting that know what it is, they're going to know. And they might call her out on it, but there's no need for it to be censored. Because then she can't get called out on it. Because
What?
you're saying that if someone posted something like that, you would want it to be censored, right? This is what you're talking about, things being flagged.
I think
And if she's in the
Yeah.
wrong, you want someone to call her out on it, right?
no.
So
I'm
someone
not
can't
saying
call
she
her
was
out
wrong.
if
I
it's-
talked to her personally, and she didn't know anything about it, and I sort of talked to her about it.
Oh, I was just saying this in general, like if someone did this, not like someone in particular, but
I don't, because you truly don't know if they actually know what they're talking about or not, and that's what's scary. Like, you don't know if teachers sometimes know what they're talking about. You just believe it. Like, how do you know when you were born that the color orange was actually orange? That's what you were taught. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I know it's like a global thing, but like, like you believe what you see, especially when you're young. So 10-year-olds will just believe it, and they'll continue to believe it unless they do their own research, especially if they grow up in a household that has different beliefs. And some households don't have good beliefs.
you'll have something to say.
Well, I just think like
No.
kind of a good like happy medium between the two is like what Instagram did around the election. Where
Yeah.
It's like this this contains election news. Like it was encouraging people to go form their own opinion and look into it more, which I think is good because it's saying like this might not be true, but that's up to you to decide. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good like middle ground between both of the sides of the argument.
Yeah, so like it could be true, it could be not. So you have to do research.
Yeah.
And I think that influence people to do their research.
Yeah, and that's the exact reason that it shouldn't be censored. So you can do your own research on it and see it yourself.
But if you see,
You should be open to posting what you want to
I
post
mean-
without feeling that people aren't going to agree with
but
you or
if there's not
disagree
a
with
little
you.
flag there saying this might not be true, you might not have, like, that might be alleged to. What happened?
See through my camera.
yeah.
Okay. Well, you might, if there's not a flag there saying that it might not be true, then you might just believe it and not have the willpower to go look it up because you just will believe it.
Yeah, this was a very good discussion. It is what time? Class ends at
151.
151.
all right.
What
Do we want to
happened?
discuss another thing?
Hey, I'm good.
I
good.
think we've covered all of our topics.
Okay, so I'm Jenna.
I'm Julia.
I'm Faith.
I'm Caroline.